Good afternoon to you, CFM. This is Coach Matt. This is our Friday workout. We've got a combo strength day today with a lot of accessory work thrown in preparation for a more intense Saturday workout. So today I'm going to start with 3 minutes of your choice warm-up pace cardio, and then let's go 3 rounds through. You're going to need a couple of bands set up for this one at about knee height, the other just barely off of the floor, and then a low object, like don't go higher than a foot high on these next ones for the warm-up, right? So we'll start off with your choice. If you want to do Nordic curls with a partner, that is very aggressive, but is also extremely effective for waking up, turning on the hamstrings. Secondary to that will be our band hamstring curls. So we'll have the band mounted low, right? Heels up through so that it is wrapped around my heels, and then I'm creeping way away from that mounting point so that I can do good hamstring curls and get a lot of tension and a lot of wake up on those hammies in preparation for the squats that we're gonna do, okay? All right, when I'm done, hop out of that band. The next one is opposite side, right? Now it's for the quads. So I'm gonna step through the band with both legs, and this is just an isometric Spanish squat. So make sure you're pushing your knees apart as you get set up in this. And again, stepping way away from the rig. And I'm gonna go into a parallel position and try to hold with my shins vertical, leaning out against the tension on that band, right? Woo! A little more tension so I can lean back into it. And that's it, just holding for 20 seconds, right? Don't be down low. And don't be up too high. Try to be like right at parallel or slightly above, right? Maximum engagement of the quads, and then ease yourself out of it. Next one will be 20 reps on each side of this low single leg heel tap. So what we're trying to do is ignite the quads as well as just gently stretch that patella tendon. And a lot of times we've shown in studies that this can send away knee pain for 45 minutes to an hour because it really targets that inner vastus medialis, which is oftentimes underutilized, or in terms of how much of the quadricep gets used in a squat. That is a piece of the musculature that doesn't turn on until you've reached a relatively high threshold of motor units, which means it takes longer to come online, right? And so it can create these tracking issues with the patella where it pulls one direction repetitively, and that can cause a repetitive use injury, right? So that is one way to turn that muscle on through multiple reps and accumulating a little fatigue, letting that quad burn a little bit before you go into your squats. Now after we do that, then we're going into our warm-up sets of back squats, right? So I've got a bar set up for my squats. When we do the squats today, the percentages are all built into sugar wad, and you can do those with no other interference. So we're going up to a heavy double at like 92%, so it should be pretty close to a 2-rep max. We're on the second of 3 cycles, so we're not going all the way to the max this time, but we will next time. All right, when you're done with that, what we can do is set the rack down lower to approximately your bench press height, or you could even just set it on the ground and go down to the ground, right? Going from the ground on our seated press is more challenging. It uses a lot more of the hip flexors and the core. Going from the seated position in the rack is a little bit easier, but it's still challenging because you can't use your legs to balance. You have to use your core to balance. So I sit a little bit behind it, maybe 8 inches behind that bar, pick it up with my shoulders, and then I'm just pressing over my head, right? Following the percentages built in to sugar wad, right there. Okay, now we have a couple of superset exercises today. One of them is dynamic, and it's going to be our alternating arm dumbbell or kettlebell row, right? So I'm gonna have a kettlebell in each hand, and I'm gonna take my bent over position, right? So it's kind of like a kettlebell RDL, like so, right? And then I'm going to, trying not to rotate at all, I'm gonna row with one hand and then row with the other, and then row with one hand and row with the other. Now our goal is that my shoulders stay totally square to the floor. no matter which arm is pulling. So I don't want to rotate at all as I'm doing that. I want to keep my shoulders totally square and only one arm moving at a time. All right, the last exercise is a 20-second static crucifix hold with the palms up, right? A lot of different options for this in terms of weight. You can use plates, you could use light dumbbells, you can hang a kettlebell off your hand, but either way, we're trying to reach straight out and hold with arms parallel to the ground for 20 seconds and try to turn those palms to the sky as we hold in that position, keeping the elbows straight, pulling the rib cage down. And this will be a very challenging weight for me. Whew, that's tough. And those are 8s, right? I'm sure some of you monsters can do 15s or so, but not this guy, right? And that is an isometric exercise working on the deltoids, but also the long head of the biceps, right? Those isometric holds are really good for tissue remodeling and improving the resilience of the tissues in those joints, as well as just being really good for our postural strength, right, in that position. And that is it for today. Hope you guys have fun with those movements. I'll see you for some sleds tomorrow.